All right.
Welcome to Two Cups of Blood.
Yeah, I find that, like, one of the keys that I've heard in other podcasts is to just bullshit a whole bunch before you say what your show is. Because it's like, oh, you all fucking know. You know.
I guess, but whatever.
Yeah,
We don't have to be like them.
That's true. There's, I guess when you get to a certain level of polish, it starts to, like, erode the appeal, I guess.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
We probably have a pretty good veneer left. We got this.
I think so.
Yeah.
We could use more polish.
Yeah. Well, I think it's getting more and more engaging. I like to think, maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to think so too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a real perspective, but I like to think so.
Oh, we're fucking great. The fucking best.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Sid and Nancy.
Not to be, or I'm sure DJ Khaled had said something like that. He's got a very healthy ego.
I
Yeah.
barely am aware.
It comes
Hot
up.
Ones, that's the only
there you go.
place I've seen them.
He did not fare well.
Well.
So yeah, 2 Cups of Blood. I'm Mechno.
I'm Matt.
Hey, dude.
Hey.
It's good to see you. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. We only do one of these about once every 2 months now.
Well, now that the holidays are definitely a big drag, so we hopefully can move into at least a monthly, if not more. Because it's always good to hang out. We'll see.
We'll see, exactly.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
The world moves so quickly.
Oh, man. It's just keeps speeding up.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
So let's talk about something we neglected a bit last time.
Yes, let's.
We have a real drink. I have one real drink, and Mechno has an interesting new drink. So I made, instead of our usual ridiculous bullshit, I actually found a recipe for an absinthe-based corpse reviver, and made one, and I haven't tasted it yet. And it's partially because some very kind soul gave me a bottle of a new kind of absinthe, which is made by St. Lawrence Spirits here in upstate New York.
Oh, New York absinthe. Very nice.
Yes, it's called La Fille Rouge, and it's not red, but it's a bit...
It looks like there's a little blood in it.
It's not super green.
Yeah, it's not super...
Yeah, so... It's a little... it's a very nice absinthe by itself. It has a really nice taste. Lots of flavors going on. For being, I think it's 65%.
It's pretty stiff, yeah.
Alcohol. It's actually smooth as a bit of a stretch, but it doesn't hit you quite as hard as some nasty 60% absinthes that I've had. I
would say that it is balanced and compelling. Whereas I don't think it's like it's a refresher or anything, but if you're sipping it, you keep sipping it rather than like, I can't do this with my life anymore, and you push it away. No, that doesn't really happen with this one.
It depends on your experience level, but if you know you can stand absinthe, yes, you'd stick with this one. So this is a corpse reviver, and it's a 1/4 ounce of the La Fille Rouge absinthe, 3/4 ounces of Lillet Blanc. I have 3/4 ounces of triple sec. I use triple sec. You can use Cointreau or whatever kind of orange liqueur you like. 3/4 ounces lemon juice and 3/4 ounces gin. We have Hendrick's gin. And you can throw in a lemon peel in there for garnish if you want. You put the absinthe in the glass. Everything else goes in a shaker with some ice. And pour it all together. And
wait, don't sip it yet.
All right.
Because I have to imagine that there are plenty of people. Oh, the nose. How's the bouquet?
It's quite fruity, which I'm not a big fruity drink person.
Okay. Did you wish you had a little umbrella or something, or a pineapple wedge sticking out of it?
It's not quite that kind of fruity. It's like it's gonna slap you in the face kind of fruity.
Oh,
In an
okay.
alcohol way, not in a fruit way.
Okay.
It's gonna be
So
I don't
what
know.
is Lillet Blanc? Because I think
I'm not super clear on this. It's I think it's based on it's like a winey sort of liqueur. I don't know exactly. I think it's maybe like a distilled.
would you
um,
would you say it's on the sweet side or the like acrid, like kind of
I think it's on the sweet side.
dry side?
I believe it's sweeter, like a wine. I can't explain it because I haven't looked into it enough.
May I have a smell of your?
Sure,
Very good.
you're back
Let's
on
see
the
here.
keto ways, I think. So
Yeah, I'm back on the keto diet, and just disclaimer, I'm not crazy about it. If I travel, I will certainly take a break from it. I just find that on the one hand, not getting any grains in my diet does me well for inflammation and just feeling like pretty good. I get super tired if I eat pizza, but bless it, pizza's wonderful. And, it's not so much processed stuff, even though I do like Monster energy drinks more than I should. So my guess is that if you did not have Lillet Blanc, you might be able to skate by with a tawny port. Like it's a fortified wine that, the tawny is the white version
okay.
of the port. So maybe it's a substitution. I'll have to do some research, maybe try a little Lillet and see what I think.
yeah, it's been so long since it's been in my fridge for the last 2-3 years, and I haven't had it in a long time.
I think you actually bought it to make corpse revivers.
Was that?
That's why you had all the stuff for it.
I can't. Maybe. I don't think I've never had gin though. I don't like gin.
I really feel like there was a different.
There was a
like,
party.
there
I
was a
definitely
party.
threw a party, and I'm sure I got that for a reason. But I don't think it was for Corpse Survivor. Maybe
Okay.
something similar.
Well, I'm glad there was overlap.
I'm fucking drinking this now.
All right, do it up. And while he's taking a sip, I'll say that. Disclaimer: I'm not really a heavy drinker. If it all sounds like I know what I'm talking about, it may be fake. Like it may be that I'm selling my impression too hard. And whoa, I'm looking at Matt. He's drinking it. It's a confusing beverage. He's not sure.
It's very tart. I would cut down on the lemon juice. I'm not a big fan of tartness.
Really?
It tastes like someone had some absinthe and they're like, okay, what can we throw in here to totally disguise this taste?
Aha.
And this is what they came up with.
Sort of squashed it a bit.
I don't know.
Well, you remember, like you could do
Is
some.
a sip of this going to knock you out of...
If you
check it
are
out.
game, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
see here. In contrast, I do like sour quite a bit.
Okay.
The smell smells like to me like whiskey sour mix.
Ugh. Maybe that's why I don't like it. I hate sour. But
I don't hate it. It is sour. If you like sour stuff, you might be down with it.
maybe they make it that sour so you have to sip it.
I actually think that if it was well chilled and you added some club, it would be a pretty refreshing.
I can see that.
A refreshing summer jam.
Yeah.
Summer Jams 2019. Pretty much.
Deep in January.
Yeah.
Just dreaming of summer.
We'll get there.
Someday.
Yeah. I have the nice occasion of my annual business trip. Oh, I messed up my headphone. Anyhow, my annual business trip to San Diego in March.
Okay.
So that's a nice way to break up the
Yeah.
the stretch.
A little nice warmness.
Spending a week working out there. It's, you know, it's still work, but outside of work I can walk around the different areas and everything is so new that like I just go down a bullshit street and it's amazing.
Cool.
I don't advise doing that in Albany. If you're like, oh, this looks like there's nothing good down this street, skip it.
To be honest, there's not a lot of crime here these days.
No, that's true.
Crime has dropped like dramatically in the last 20 years.
Yeah, this was a topic I was getting into before. Having, you know, we both have a pretty long stay in the capital region. We've seen it, and I just remember when I first came to town, when I first moved up here in 1992.
Whoa.
When I came up then, things were different. The Lark Street was a lot more vibrant, and the upkeep was better, and there were more flourishing businesses. And even Central Avenue had like record shops on it, and a good portion of it was a worthwhile stroll up Central, where now it's really not. It's just like weird, like overpriced convenience stores, because people like every block will have an overpriced convenience store that has like a pretty bad selection of groceries, but I don't know. It makes me want to find somebody who has been here much longer than I have and ask them, how was it that Lark Street and Central Avenue got to be good? Like when they were better, how did they get that way?
I have a feeling it came up through the 80s, you know, developed slowly, and I don't know. Yeah, Lark Street. I mean, I can't remember the name of the place, but there was a restaurant with like an art gallery upstairs that had really good food.
Wasn't that Cafe Lulu?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that was Cafe Lulu.
Whatever Legends was before it was Legends.
Yeah, that's the place.
Yeah. So there were some really interesting and engaging places. I think we've seen more and more tattoo shops come in around the downtown area. There's more like ethnic, like grocery stores and some new kind of different kinds of restaurants that have come in. But beyond that, yeah, it's kind of like the specialty stores have kind of fallen off a bit.
It's weird because maybe it's like a nostalgia cloud that I'm looking through, because there used to be a comic shop on Lark Street.
Awesome comic shop on Fanico on Central.
Yeah. There used to be a video store. There used to be I'm trying to remember some of the other like highlights. Yeah, there was Cafe Lulu, which was a really good like cafe/restaurant that kind of did okay, I thought. There was a coffee shop called Cafe Dolce.
Okay.
Back in the day.
I remember that name.
I mean, but at the same time, like my nostalgia is like all these things are gone. But at the same time, right now we have like a kind of interesting boutique pet store. Like not for buying pets, but pet supplies. There's like a couple interesting niche bars that specialize in like artistic craft stuff. There's that place Yamaguchi that the guy specializes in. I think it's just someone creative who has a 3D printer and has a laser cutter, like a large format laser cutter, and they do just wood burning, and it's interesting art. And there's like a ton of cafes, so it's not like, I don't know, maybe it's like old dude is like, it used to be better before, but it was almost the same.
It had a different feeling. The culture had a different feeling to it, yeah. I think.
I can definitely say that Central Avenue sucks more. Like, yeah. Central Avenue really,
it's gotten grimier and...
Yeah.
A little... Yeah. I don't know.
Or it may... Even better is it's different. And it used to be way more welcoming to naive students, whereas now
It's a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
Not literally dangerous, but just not as friendly.
It's not as welcoming. It feels intimidating. Yeah. So, it's like you don't really have the compulsion to walk down at the corner of Lark and Central. You wouldn't really walk down all the way to North Allen or whatever, just checking stuff out. You'd just run out of anything interesting to see and be like, oh, well, it's a little sketchy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a walk I used to make, a long time ago. Jerome Sound was on Central Ave, somewhere in that stretch.
Yeah.
And that was a fun place to, look at instruments or whatever. And there was a
World's Record and
Record Shack was there, and
Record Shack, right?
a bunch of different spots. So yeah, it's kind of weird, but yeah, it's life in cities, right?
Yeah.
Things change.
Yeah, but I don't know how we got there from the drink, but yeah, absolutely. My phone is ticking, and I don't want it to. Yeah, I know what to do. Hold on.
It picks up on the mic sometimes. Could be me too. Let me move mine away.
Nope. I think I got it. I just set mine. Oh, you can, if you wanted your notes or whatever, you can.
No, I got them.
Oh, okay. Airplane mode with no Wi-Fi. You're golden.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
good. Yeah, very good.
So what are you drinking over there?
Oh, I have a bullshit coffee with a lot of heavy cream in it. One of the perks of keto is like any chance you get to inject fat into your diet, you're like, sure, you gonna finish that chicken grizzle? Pass it over here, man.
Ugh.
Well, I don't really like chicken grizzle specifically, but it's interesting. I feel like as cynical as the world is, it really could stand to be a little bit more cynical, because so much stuff from past to us, from generations past, is utter bullshit. The food pyramid is utter bullshit. The whole fat is bad for you thing was early lobbyists from the sugar industry were like, oh shit, sugar's really bad for people. Well, fuck, dude, let's just blame fat. Let's do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's so confusing to try to look at the research, because a lot of new research is saying saturated fat isn't so bad for you, cholesterol isn't so bad for you. But then we've got this, 50, 60 years of medical literature of previous studies that shows, saturated fat raises your cholesterol, that's what will give you a heart attack. And they still haven't really straightened all that out yet. It's starting to change, but it's going really slow.
Yeah, I'm trying to... There was some kind of... I can give an example. It's not the example that I was thinking. There was some sort of example about somebody who was assailing the health benefits of coconut oil. And it turned out that if you dug a little bit, there was a whole polished video and stuff that went with it, and it made you, it didn't occur to everybody, but if you think for a second, this video cost money. Somebody put money into making coconut oil look dangerous. And so then you have a bit more of a skeptical view of it. And I can't remember what the other thing that actually is the example that I was looking for, but there was another bullshit thing where, what was it? Give me 1 second. It's not the paper industry, even though they've done some shit. They have done some shit. Yeah, it was another study. It'll maybe come back to me, but it was another study where it was funded. That's what it was. It was the hand dryer. You ever heard that statistic that paper hand towels
Less sanitary?
are more sanitary?
Oh, no, I haven't.
And that when you use these Dyson Airblade things or the electric blowers in gas stations or whatever, rest stop, that it is circulating bacteria and whatnot, and it's really not, it doesn't even make sense because it's not inherently more dangerous because there's no food in the circulator. Not only is there no food in the circulator for bacteria to collect on, but it's hot. It's like an uncomfortable environment with no nourishment for bacteria, and yet somehow they're saying it spreads bacteria. It just doesn't make sense, but if you look into it, it's the fucking paper people trying to kill us.
I think perhaps our society has gone a little too nuts about antibacterial stuff. It's like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. There's a line there, there's a balance, and I'm not sure we've hit the right balance yet. I'm not saying, go out and eat dirt or anything with your filthy hands, but...
Well, I think that there's that practice of being antibacterial, and really all it does with that sort of approach is kill off the stuff that is competing with the really dangerous stuff. It's like, so you have like a herd of like really kind of harmless bacteria and then like a couple of the super killers, and you just wipe out all of the harmless ones, and then you're more prone to being infected by those like really dangerous ones.
Yeah.
But the good news is the best way to take care of your hands when you're washing them, it has nothing to do with the soap is minor. The hot water is even minor. It's the friction. It's a simple matter of physics. Things don't like getting like shredded. So just rubbing your hands together is fucking them up. Yeah, good shit.
Science lessons.
Boom.
So what do you have to drink later? What's round 2 look like?
Well, should I spoil it? Or yeah, I'll spoil it. I have having jumped into keto again after taking a break for the holidays because I don't want to miss out on life. Come on.
Why should you?
Yeah, thank you. I made a keto-friendly vodka chata, which is some hemp milk, some heavy cream. Not that much, though. I'm not, like, going to split a glass of heavy cream with you, but some cinnamon, some nutmeg, some vodka. There's really not that much to it. A little vanilla and a little bit of sweetener. I used alcohol sweetener, which is... I use the brand Swerve, and it's erythritol. I'm sure I'm saying it poorly, but that stuff. So we'll see later. That's like...
Oh, you haven't had it yet?
The tension builder. Well, not exactly.
Okay.
Like, I made it, and it said sweeten to taste, so I, like, tried a little bit, and I didn't try it after the last time I adjusted the sugar or sweetness, so it might be too sweet. Or not sweet enough. It's hard to tell.
I'm sure it'll be paradise after this.
I don't know. It's not bad. Come on.
It's not for me. I'll just say that.
Well, I guess it kind of makes your taste buds stand up and take notice. Kind of.
It's not a good thing.
No?
Not a good thing.
They're now agitated. Yeah.
They're a little angry at me.
How could you?
Oof.
I thought it was nice. For someone who likes sour stuff, I thought it was nice.
Maybe that's the key. Stay away from the corpse reviver unless you got that sour tooth.
If you like Warheads and the Sour Patch Kids and stuff like that, this is a walk in the park. It's not bad.
Yeah, not my jam.
Yeah. But I also eat like whole lemon wedges and stuff, and
yeah.
But if you eat the lemon peel along with the lemon pulp, the bitter and the sour sort of neutralize each other. It's a good thing. You can't do that with a banana. If you try to eat the peel with the fruit, whatever that banana pole is, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't really balance out too well. It's nasty.
Fair enough.
So
what next?
Well, we had some prepared topics.
We do.
but I'm going to hit you with one of the few things that came back to me.
Okay.
Here, I'll let you. We'll pick a number between 1 and 3, and okay, we'll just talk about. You very expertly or intuitively found these hoodies that we're wearing.
Oh, yes.
And
we gave a detailed review of this hoodie on the last podcast.
Did we?
Which I just edited last night and this morning.
Okay, so you know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, then in brief, having used it for a few weeks,
second opinion.
I still think it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's
okay.
It's not exactly the criticism that it is not the pinnacle of fashion is not incorrect. It is certainly not unfashionable.
Right.
But like if you are going to the gym and you want to look like athletic sleek, this is maybe not the jacket for you. Whereas if you're actually going hiking or doing something, yeah, it's a good jacket. It's a really good jacket. Wait, what's the difference between a jacket and a hoodie and a coat?
I think this one walks that line between jacket and hoodie. A coat is a more robust garment, I would say.
Okay.
Maybe not when you're talking like sports coat, but whatever.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I have no idea. Oh, jeez. Is that show coming back? Are we ever going to get season 4 Rick and Morty?
Couple years, maybe.
Well, they got their sock money. That was the big thing. They were like complaining that Rick and Morty, the creators of Rick and Morty, their initial contract didn't have them getting a cut of any of the merchandising. And they were like, people go to Hot Topic and buy Rick and Morty socks. We don't get anything for that. We want some sock money. Come on.
Nice.
If you want us to keep doing this, cut us in on that sweet sock money. And I guess that they now are going to get some sock money. So
good for them.
Yeah, I hope it holds together because like they had to like cut writing staff loose because you can't just have people not working that are on payroll. So like they get other gigs and stuff, but
yeah,
it's probably a pretty cool place to work. So I imagine if they can, they're going to want to come back to it.
I hope so. I mean, the writing, I think the writing is the strong suit on that show. So, and,
yeah.
You know, I recently got into the first 2 volumes of the Rick and Morty graphic novels or, you know, comic book series that they've been putting out.
Okay.
Not sure who puts them out, but they're not really written to the same level as the show. They're not as intricate with the 2 different subplots coming together and different things going on. So, you know, I wanted to check them out and see how it was in a different format, but not quite, at least in the beginning. Maybe it matured after that. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's really easy to sound like a fool when you're really into Rick and Morty, but it's like a number that has lots of factors. Like it's divisible by many things, and that's kind of what these shows' appeal is. Like if you're a gross idiot, there's plenty of gross stupid shit that you're gonna love.
Yeah.
If you're like more into hard science fiction, you find these just clever nuances where you're like, oh, the writers are actually into that, and they're like putting this. Am I gurgling?
I think that was me.
Because I feel like that. Anyhow, yeah. So the writers like see the little things in there. But you know, hey, it's a good show and people enjoy it. So
we enjoy it.
Yeah. I do enjoy it.
There you go.
Yeah, you've seen The Bird Box?
Yeah, we just watched that.
How'd you feel about that? You seemed like you were fatigued by the mention of The Bird Box.
I think I'm getting to a point where I'm getting done with horror, which isn't really related directly to this. It's just, I don't know, getting to the point where I want to spend less of my free time, you know, looking at not disturbing things, but I don't know. I'm just losing my taste for it right now. Maybe it's just a sick, you know. a phase, but
being a horror aficionado, I would say that you are. That it's a fatigue that like maybe you just need to distance enough that when you come back to it, you see something new there, and I think that you'll be back. You'll be back.
yeah, probably. I mean, there's classics I still love,
Yeah.
but yeah, kind of really hate Sandra Bullock. So that was tough for me. Now that was you.
That was me.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I have problems with her. When I saw John Malkovich was in it, that's when I was like, oh shit, maybe I should watch this. And I thought it was better than it had any right to be. I think the title and the marketing were truly terrible.
Yeah.
I can't think of a worse way to... I don't know. I guess I never watched the whole trailer. When Netflix tries to autoplay the trailer and you're just like, fuck you, stop it. And you flip to something else. Like, there was nothing about the beginning of that grabbed my attention.
Yeah. I mean, it really looked... I agree with you completely that without watching the entirety of the trailer, you're like, okay, there's a woman who's been taken captive and she has a blindfold on and they have her kids. And you're like, should I invest in this?
Yeah, like what?
Okay, so cons, Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Pro or con, soundtrack by Trent Reznor.
I didn't know that. None of that left an impression on me. I don't remember any incidental music at all.
Neutral. Okay. All right.
And I think if, again, apologies Nine Inch Nails fans, but I think if Trent wants to score things, that's great. Just go score things.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I hear what you're saying. I can read the subtext. All right. Yeah. All right. Okay. It had that dude from Constantine, the priest with the drinking, the movie Constantine, not the show Constantine.
Oh yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he was good. He always kind of
He
plays.
was only in it a brief.
Does he actually have strange eyes?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, because they make a thing of it every movie he's in, and it would make sense
Pretty
if
much.
he just has like
I think that's how he is.
unique eyes. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not
All right,
sure,
interesting.
but yeah. Yeah, I think the supporting cast was really good. Sandra Bullock, I just find hard to look at. I don't like her face.
Well,
Sorry for being superficial, but
I guess is it superficial when really people are sort of selected for the movie industry because of their on-screen charisma, and if they're not doing it for you, then it's not the right fit for you.
right.
But-
I'd say now that she's a little older, and I think it's probably very brave of her to take a role like that in that kind of a movie, coming from the background of, Demolition Man and the romantic comedies and the romantic dramas and all that shit that she's done. So, good for her.
Still not a fan.
Not really a fan. I mean, she's a competent actress. I don't find her...
She's probably a nice lady.
Probably. I don't know.
Fuck George Clooney.
Whatever.
I'll still say it. I got a grudge. But anyhow.
That's fine.
So, yeah, I think the best thing, well, pro or con, now when you see, like, a Bird Box meme, you understand the joke. Is that a benefit?
Yeah, I think I've only seen one.
I've seen a couple. I've seen, like, Sandra Bullock with a piñata photoshopped in front of her, and she's got like a little piñata stick to go with her blindfold. And
that's cute.
Yeah,
that's cute.
Stuff like that I've seen.
Didn't see that. What the hell was that?
That was not me.
Interesting sound effect. Okay.
Boing.
But I thought the movie was pretty effective. Empathizing with someone like that who feels so alone and has to take care of these two small children in these like impossible circumstances is certainly very intimidating, jarring.
So yeah.
So there's a good tension there, I guess, and I thought I don't know how much you can talk about this thing without spoiling it, but I thought what wasn't shown was a good decision.
Oh yeah, big time.
Which made you concentrate on what was going on there.
Yeah, I agreed. So I can tell you that in the trailer, if you do watch through the entirety of the trailer, it is framed out that there are creatures that are like so horrendous or something that when you see them, you see like your worst fears realized, and it like breaks your mind. That is conveyed in the trailer if you watch the whole thing. And initially, they actually were going to show the creature.
Oh, really?
And it was stupid.
Yeah?
It was real. It was like just ass-faced, stupid-looking dude.
Was it a CG thing, or?
Oh, yeah. It was going to be like probably a mix of practical and CG, but like it could be a spoof that I saw that just showed this like really not great idea. Nice. And they're like, no, let's work around that. Let's just not do that.
I think that was as frustrating as it is when you want to see a whole picture of something. Like similar to Alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
The alien is in Alien, and you see it in these flashes or in these, quick angles. There's more of it at the end, but you never get a real great, I guess you do in the very end. You don't get a great picture of what it really is, what all the parts of it look like. So that can be frustrating when that happens, but I think in this film, what they did with showing it worked well to reinforce, what was going on with the effect of it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. Netflix has
I think it was actually pretty damn good. I would have to say.
Yeah, I think I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Especially because the trailer made me think that it might just be something stupid to have on in the background that I wasn't going to be into.
Definitely, so, I got the impression of it that it was going to be some dramatic, if not abduction, something like A Quiet Place, which is the obvious connection you can draw.
Yeah.
Where I enjoyed A Quiet Place. I thought it was good, but I'm like, oh, this is like a Netflix ripoff of a real movie that's going to be dumb.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like it had a full original idea and good production both behind it. And I really did, I think.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
Now, this is sort of a two-parter that I was going to say. So, Daredevil, canceled. Luke Cage, canceled. We're about to, in a short time,
Punisher.
We're going to see Punisher's second season come out.
Then canceled.
Well, no, we don't know if it's going to be canceled because
really?
A lot of it takes place in the gritty scene of Albany, New York. So
they did do some filming here, yeah.
So at least in part, it's going to have that, that's something special.
That real street grime.
Yeah, it's authentic.
We'll see.
You can't have a prop shop make that. You just got to go to this weird cubey building that's been there for like a really long time and vacant, and it's nasty, and there you go.
I can't remember. I was with my wife was driving us somewhere downtown, and we got off. We're driving around down there, and one of the streets was blocked off, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that's where they're filming." And we got a kind of a glance at some things, but I don't even remember what we were doing. Just driving through there.
I have high hopes. I liked the first season quite a bit.
The first season was good. Again, I'm kind of a purist, and those books in the 80s had a formative effect on me. So
okay.
I still haven't seen quite the Punisher, the character, the version of the character that I know and love hasn't come out yet, but I think what they've done is very good, and I do enjoy it. So, and I would like to see more of that. So I'm curious about the second season.
Well, maybe next podcast we'll reflect back on this conversation and we'll say canceled, or whatever.
Probably.
You know.
Were you done with the hoodie? Did you want to say anything else there?
No, I'm good with the hoodie so far. You know, a couple weeks in, especially if it's something we already hit. I just was
when the warmth factor is good.
Yeah, I find that I tend to not have too many really heavy garments. Instead, maybe it's a little street ruffian, but I always like to layer because if you start getting too stuffy, you can just shed your if you have an overcoat over your hoodie, you just take off that and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, layering. Okay. That's how I roll. But maybe it's just that I don't buy a lot of really high-end clothes, so I don't have a super warm plush jacket or anything. I don't know.
Is there anyone that makes super warm, does Creature or Crisis Wear have anything that's really...
No, I mean, no, there is no real alternative cold weather fashion, really. Not really.
You'd think it would be coming out of Montreal or somewhere,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I have a couple designs, but
yeah.
I'm a one-trick pony. All my fashion designs are based on lab coats. So there is a hard weather lab coat with a Pac-Man hood that's got a video display in it. So when it's too cold, you just completely Pac-Man.
Sounds very Ghost in the Shell.
Well, it's Imagine Ghost in the Shell made of garbage. It's not. It's just a prototype, so it's not great. But I mean, it's like a Raspberry Pi feeding a small screen that's stitched into the inside of the hood. You just Pac-Man it over and you stumble around, and it's better than having frostbite. So
it sounds good.
There you go.
You got a prototype?
Sort of. Yeah, I'll say yeah. But it's, it's interesting because I wanted something that was, really good for cold weather, really good water resistance. So I did, what do they call it when you use, there's a term for it, when you use, a beeswax and linseed oil mixture to treat your garments so that they become waterproof. It's called something funny like otter coating or something like that. But yeah,
otter time.
Yeah, straight up. So I did that, and it's, I don't know. I think it's dashing, sort of, but it is also not made by an expert sewer, and it's made by somebody who thinks that lab coat chic is good. So
it could be a whole new movement.
I think.
You can't tell unless you put it out there.
I think we need more popularized heroic depictions of engineers. I think that's real.
There you go.
Yeah, when we have fucked up the atmosphere and we need people who are figuring out how to get carbon out of it, those engineers are going to start looking pretty damn cool.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's why I like Dead Space so much.
I never got into those, but I don't know if I gave them a fair chance.
Oh my gosh. Dead Space, all three of them were fantastic. And I think that Electronic Arts are a bunch of assholes, and they have just made it impossible to do a fourth one. Even though I would love to see a fourth one, I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Is that because of the rights to it, or what's...
No, I think that the third one had brilliant... It was brilliant. It was great. I don't know if it was made by the original team that made the first one, which people get protective and kind of will reject a new team coming into a property. I'm not going to see Hellboy. Fuck that. They kicked out Del Toro. I'm not doing it.
I'm sorry, that trailer.
It looks horrible.
Oof.
Yeah. So, but that aside, I think the writing and the cinematography and the scare of Dead Space 3 was really good. What was not really good was they kept hooking these stupid, pay-to-win shit where you could, purchase coins to do certain things, and maybe my memory is getting clouded by other EA antics because they are sort of like at the forefront of that bullshit. But I think that like a lot of people, they put a lot of money into Dead Space 3 and it didn't do well because people are like, yeah, this pay to win shit is bullshit. And I think it reflected poorly. Or maybe I'm just misrepresenting it, and maybe they didn't do that, but I do know that it had some criticism, and I thought it was a great game, but I didn't do any of the online portion. I didn't do any of the like actual paid upgrades for it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite good. And the hero was Isaac, one of the engineers, and he was pretty inspirational character. I think if you give it a shot, you'd like it. And everything is cold in the third one. It's a good winter game because it is freezing.
Because that's what you want to concentrate on when you're freezing. Or
Well,
other people freezing.
it's like when you watch a scary movie that's happening at night and you're watching it at night. It's just that much more immersive. When you come in and your hands are still a little bit sluggish because it was like really brisk out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits home. You're like, fuck this. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you want to mention anything else? I think you had 3.
Well, yeah, I don't want to like run rampant on it, but I was gonna say, I had a recent holiday party for work, and I was gonna frame it in terms of, as an introvert, how you survive those circumstances, because it really is kind of harrowing. I mean, okay, so if my employer ever listens to this podcast, I would say it was a very lovely party, and it was a really warm, sincere gesture that they wanted to throw this for the employees. I work for a great place. I really like it. That said, it was like everyone and their spouses or significant others or what have you. And all other company functions are only employee. They never allow the significant others to, they never bring them into it. So what you had is, it's not a huge company, and you had a circumstance where you have people you are not always super comfortable talking to at great length because you do the stuff in your department, they do their department. So you're, I'd say, maybe 80% familiar with everybody else, and you can like hang out and talk with them, whatever, to some extent. And then you dilute that with 50% of the people being their significant others, and you don't know them at all. And then you throw on that they decide it's going to be like a fancy affair, and they say you have to come in like a suit and tie and like a collared shirt, a blazer, like that sort of thing.
It's like wedding attire.
Yeah, and then they like are like, oh, it's also a masquerade. So
geez.
Bring a mask. If you don't have one, we'll have masks that you can select from. And so like if somebody is extroverted, and open bar and lots of food, and like it wasn't something that's at all daunting if you like parties or if you're an extrovert. If you're an introvert and thinking about finding something to do with yourself that is social amidst people you don't know, and especially in my case, I drove, so I couldn't really drink all that much, and all these things are weird, like social petri dishes, sort of, where they want to test and see how you react in these environments, and see like, are you uptight and you can't have fun, or are you sloppy and you just lose control? Like it's weird. But I found, so if you're ever in this situation, I would say frequent bathroom breaks. Just disappear to the bathroom a little bit. If you're leaving late in the evening, don't even bother saying goodbye. Like, ghost. People have been drinking. They're not going to really remember if you ghosted or not. You just go, because it's the most fail-safe, elegant exit you can make, rather than like walking around forever, hugging people, interrupting conversations to say goodbye, all that. Just ghost. It's cool. You know, if somebody's offended, they'll probably not. I mean, probably people won't be offended because they probably just missed your exit when you were saying goodbye. So, whatever. Just take the easy route. Just sneak out.
Yeah, that can be an intimidating situation.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think I've only had one company party similar to that.
Okay.
Which was a long time ago now, at least 15, 16
Okay.
or more years ago. And I thought it wasn't masquerade or anything, so I don't know. At the time, I was kind of excited for it. I think I was in more of an extroverted cycle at that point, and I didn't have a significant other, but I asked my DJ partner at the time to go with me.
Okay.
And she had a good time, and it was pretty cool. And I don't know, it was a very small company.
Okay.
Like, I don't even know if we had 50 employees. It was probably less. So, and it was the only time we did it. I only did it once. I worked there 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Something like that, maybe more. And they only had this one big thing this one time. So it was fun. You know, they even had limos pick us up, so we could drink. And yeah, it was the fanciest thing I'd ever been to.
Mine actually had hotel rooms. They got 10 hotel rooms anticipating that people were going to cut loose, and they wanted people to have the option. So, like, yeah, it was really well intended. Like, it was very thoughtful, very generous. But, like, I didn't know all that many people. And, like, I just mostly stuck around my coworkers and shot the shit.
Yeah.
But,
like, if you don't have good social connections with those people you work with, it can be tough.
Yeah, my fiance actually ended up eating a raw chicken wing early the night before. So the morning of the party, I wake up and she's in the bathroom vomiting when I get up to get ready for work. And she was like, "It was the chicken wings." So she didn't make it. And I was like, I don't know if it was, you know, I don't think she would have been like super comfortable anyhow. So I don't think she's busted up about missing it, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, it can be tough. Where I work now, they have certain company functions. Like once a year, we do a big a thing where they get us all together at a external location, but they usually have transportation. They get some buses, and it's during the workday, so it's not like an evening affair,
right?
And it's not a drinking affair. So they bus us out. They give us some food, and there's like drinks, like not alcoholic drinks, but like teas and different things, and
refreshments.
Present some awards, year in review, what's next, you know, one of those kind of things. So that's kind of all right. The first one, they sat people alphabetically. And this is a bigger company, and we have about I think I'm in a building with around 800 people. So yeah, you don't know anybody. You're like, maybe you've seen names on emails or whatever, but you don't know these people. And it's weird. So the third time around, they did it a little differently. You were sitting with your teammates, which is makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more comfortable. So yeah, but even that can be a little weird because, as well as I'm more of a private person, so I get along with my team, but I'm not always close friends with them. Maybe there's a couple people I'm friendly with, like actual outside of work friendly, but it's pretty rare. So
yeah, I mean, I have that same judicious doling out of my personality. Like I'm funny at work, and like kind of an asshole in a nice way. But like, you know, I'm very guarded about how much I show of who I am at work. I just think that, like, my work relationship with a lot of people wouldn't be better for that, and I keep it separated. But excuse me, the most harrowing part of the holiday party was when I was like feeling a little bit burnt, and I was gonna just go back to my office for a second and just like check my email to just cool off. I walked through this room that's right in front of the, like, there's like a room that is designated for observing the robotics facility. And in this observation room, I walked in and all of the executives were there, and they had like a spread of all these like iced glasses with super top shelf whiskey, and they're all smoking cigars, and they're like, "Hey, have a cigar." And I was like, oh boy. So I had a cigar.
Okay.
And I, it was not nasty gross like I thought it would be. Like, I don't think they smell awesome usually, but like, definitely I came home smelling like not great. I smelled like I had been in a cigar closet or something. It was,
Yeah.
But it was, there are times where you just, you enjoy the moment. You just try to enjoy the moment, and you try something you wouldn't normally try. I don't have any, like, it wasn't like a breaking of my morals or something to smoke a cigar. It's not something I generally have a compulsion to do, and I have to say, like, smoking a cigar definitely hit me much harder than any of the drinking that I had done that night. Like, I had a couple drinks, I think 3 drinks over 6 hours, but the cigar is what really kind of like wobbled me, because I guess the nicotine, it must have like a ridiculous nicotine kick or something, because it was like definitely woozying, if that's a thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah.
Coining new words all the time on this podcast.
Hey. Linguistic drift, So, yeah, do you want to refresh a refresher beverage?
Yeah. Let's go for round 2 here.
Oh, refreshed.
There we go.
So good.
So let's talk about the second round. Did we already talk about it?
We talked about what it was. We did sort of tease that we're going to have a keto vodka chata.
What's your name for it?
Oh boy.
The Mechno chata?
No. Who's a famous stoner?
Well, I guess.
Okay, we'll call it the Cheech and Chata, because it's
with hemp milk?
My version is based on hemp milk. So yeah, the Cheech and Chata is vodka.
Rogan chata?
Oh, it could be Rogan Chata. Sure.
I don't know.
But hemp milk, heavy cream, nutmeg, cinnamon, vodka. It's not really stiff. It's, about a shot or 1 ounce of vodka per beverage, and it's way more hemp milk and heavy cream than it is vodka. So it's, it's nice. I wouldn't say you can taste the vodka enough, so you shouldn't like go with horrible vodka. But
yeah.
I went with Russian Standard.
Oh,
I got a bottle
nice.
of Russian Standard over the holidays, and I already had an open bottle of Russian Standard Platinum Premium or something, and I didn't want
Imperium?
No, not the Imperium one.
Oh, there's
maybe
a
it was just
different one.
Maybe it was just Platinum.
Okay.
Yeah, so like Imperium is the third rank. That's like their super top star, but the Platinum is like, maybe there's more filtering or something. I don't know. It's a nice vodka, but the Russian Standard is also a nice vodka. So I went with Russian Standard. A pretty neutral spirit, won't impart like a whole lot of nasty attributes. Like, oh my God, there's this one that came out of, it's not Poland, Kazakhstan. that was Snow Queen vodka.
Oh, I remember
And
you got that in a beautiful bottle. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful bottle, like World of Warcraft type, like female Snow Queen warrior thing. Really good bottle design. And it was undrinkable. It was so bad. It was probably poisonous because it really tasted like floor cleaner.
You think you got a bad batch or something, or just really poorly made?
I think if you were to try to imagine if you tried to make vodka at home, that's probably what it would taste like. Like there was like weird, whatever it was distilled from imparted like way too much flavor because it wasn't filtered correctly or something. It was bad.
Okay.
But still got the bottle. It was a nice bottle. It came with a cocktail shaker. It was cool.
Nice.
But yeah, I'd say this beverage is pretty successful. The cinnamon and nutmeg make it a nice, even though it's an ice drink, it's a comforting winter drink.
Yeah,
I'd
I would
say.
agree with that. It has a little bit of a, it's probably the hemp milk or something. There's a little bit of a, powdery is too harsh a word, but it's the only one that comes to me. There's a little bit of a powdery aftertaste thing in your mouth, but...
Yeah, there is something that is, I would not buy... There's something botanical, but not floral. Like, it tastes like vegetable milk a little bit, but not in a nasty way.
No.
The recipe that I had found actually called for almond milk, but I didn't have any. So, or maybe it was soy milk. I can't remember now, but...
Almond milk would probably be sweeter and maybe a little smoother, but... Yeah, I don't know.
No, this is actually... It's quite nice.
It's not bad.
I could see myself making it again on some occasion.
For keto...
Yeah, for keto.
It's pretty good keto power.
Yeah, and I like I said before, I sweetened with erythol, which is an alcohol-based sweetener that does not have any carbohydrates, or at least very low. So overall, this whole drink probably has maybe 2 carbs, but
The sweetness level is pretty good. It's definitely not oversweetened. It's not.
yeah,
I think it's pretty good fit.
I don't like it when recipes say something like sweetened to taste, because like I've never made this before. I don't know what it should taste like exactly, but you know, I'm sure if I was doing this for like a commercial run or something, I probably would have made it even sweeter, because people like love really, really syrupy sweet drinks, I guess. But
I used to. I'm getting a little away from that now, but yeah, Southern Comfort, it's my jam. Used to be my jam.
I don't think I've ever had Southern Comfort.
It's pretty sweet.
Is it like sweet whiskey?
Yes. I think technically it's a liqueur, but yeah, it's sweet whiskey, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Similar to, there's a Royal Crown Vanilla that's also super sweet. Similar range of, yeah.
I don't really mind the sweet stuff. Like, I'll drink Das Comet or Black House, and those are both like super sweet. But, you know, I find the sweetness so overwhelming that it's almost as bracing as as anything. If you drink, you know, a shot of absinthe and you're just like, oh, and then you drink, you know, you have some water afterward and you like start to get the nuance of all the flavors. The same thing happens when you're having, you know, a super sweet drink, which is like overwhelming sweet, and it hits you with it, and then you clean your palate with some water or something, and then you're like, oh, but then there's like some berries coming down, or like, oh wow, I really feel the nutmeg and the cinnamon as it passes. But this is like, it's not ultra sweet, so you get that already. So I'd say it's okay. I might make it again at some, you know, though maybe it should be. I'm inspired by what happened when I stored the bottle in the freezer and it became sort of like milkshake level. So maybe some controlled freezing to really get it to like thicken up might be nice.
That would be cool. Or maybe blend it with some crushed ice.
Yeah.
You get a mudslide feeling.
Yeah, that's nice.
It might be cool.
Yeah. So, cheers.
Yes.
We'll do a clink for the... Yeah. That's the stuff. Listeners. Right there. That's listeners in the bank. When they hear the clink, they're in the... We gotta find hosting, I know.
Yeah. I'm just so cheap, I don't want to pay for hosting. That's why it's taken so long, but... We'll probably break down and do it soon.
I will say, not that this has a bearing on hosting, but there is an interesting change in the landscape that's coming, and I'm very curious how things are going to pan out, because have you heard any of the 5G hype yet from phones?
Not really. I think I heard you talking about it to someone else briefly, but no. Oh yeah, it's going to be up to like 100. You were talking to Tom. That's what I heard.
Yeah. So I guess it's getting pushed and getting used as like a selling point now, because AT&T got a real black eye, a real embarrassment, because they had a phone that had an icon saying it was 5G when that phone is completely not 5G capable. And they really just look like idiots. Everyone, like Verizon and Sprint, like roasted them. So 5G is like 1,000 times faster. It's something like, it's like 10 gig per second as opposed to the 300 meg that 4G LTE is. Again, if anybody hears this and is like, actually your numbers are all fucked up, you're wrong. Okay, I'll just go with, I've had a drink, and that's kind of what I remember.
It's like 1 billion times faster than 4G.
It's faster enough that I think it's going to break the cable company's hold on residential internet.
That could be cool.
It could be cool, but then I'm also nervous, because if there's a company that has demonstrated that they're like as shitty as the cable company, it's Verizon.
Yeah.
Verizon sucks, and like it's not like AT&T or Sprint or any of the resold major carriers, T-Mobile, Boost, Cricket, any of those. They're not really better. Like, the resellers are beholden to the major carriers, and the major carriers are going to, like, do dumb shit, like, say it's unlimited, but not really unlimited. There's fine print, or it's unlimited, but if you try to do tethering, it's going to be a problem. It's like all sorts of bullshit like that. So I don't trust the industry that's going to be competing with cable, because I think it's like two monsters fighting for who gets the victim. But
like Godzilla and Mothra.
Yeah, it's like, you're fucked. Like, I mean, maybe it's better than just when you're gonna just get what Godzilla gave you, and it's just a Godzilla show. But, you know, whatever. It'll be nice to not have to deal with one, you know, when I get irritated with Time Warner or Charter now, I'm not stuck with that. I'll actually have an option, which will probably inform their practices, where they don't do stuff like make existing customers have like a penalty, where new customers get a sweet deal, customers who exist, fuck you. You're reliable, how dare you, fuck you.
Yeah.
So, you know, maybe that'll change. That'd be nice.
Can you see a time, you have more of a networking background than I do, can you see a time where maybe the cost of devices comes down and the technology evolves to a point where you don't need a middleman, and there'll be a way to connect to a backbone if you just buy something? You know what I'm getting at?
I do. I think one thing that's going to happen that I don't think I really like, but I do think it's quite possible is going to happen, is the Internet of Things is not going to be all these like devices that tether to your Wi-Fi. It's going to be individual devices that have their own cellular communication. It's interesting because, you know, if for some reason one of your devices that you usually route your, web browsing or something through, your deliberate traffic through, has an issue, it may, instead that device will connect to your thermostat. Your thermostat uses cellular to talk to the internet. So like it could be this situation where you have a really vastly distributed like failure web where you're always going to have internet no problem, but that's also really hard to control, where right now if you have a single router, you can be pretty judicious about these things talk to the router or can't talk out of your house, and you can control that pretty easily. But when everything has a direct connection to the internet, it gets much sketchier. So I don't know, we'll see. I think that's coming.
It's going to take a while to get there, I think.
I'd say probably 5 years. That's
Really?
my guess. Yeah.
Just cellular radios and everything, and data plans for all your devices, and
Yeah, I think that
it's going to be weird.
we're probably going to see a structure change where, just like there'll be not so much data plans and SIMs, much as you're a customer of Verizon and your devices can use that network. And so you'll have to put in some of your network, your customer IDs into your devices, but beyond that, they'll just work on your account, and it's not really, when everything you have is internet enabled, it becomes like kind of a logistical mess to like manage all those connections. You want to just be like, oh, here you go. You scan a QR code with your whatever, and then it knows how to get on the internet. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, healthy cynicism,
Yes.
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get back to talk music.
Oh,
for a
yeah,
minute.
great. Have you heard anything good lately?
I wanted to call out. There's a band on Negative Gain called Viva Non, and they put out a record called Shaping Dust and Our Anatomy.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. Shaping Dust and Our Autonomy. And I like it. I think it's really good. I think it is not super goth, but it's like Misfit music. I don't know. Like I get a almost a Shuju feeling from it. The vocal style. It's hard to describe, but I like it a lot. It's very alternative, very college radio to me. It has some of those older feelings in it, but it's new good stuff. I really enjoy it. Most of the songs are like actually really short. It's interesting.
It sounds pretty cool. Do you think it's going to get a lot of college radio play?
I could. I think it would. Well, today college radio, I don't know exactly, but I get like an older alternative feeling out of it, but that's because of the context I have. I don't know if new listeners would hear it that way. I like it.
Now, you recently have reviewed our past. This is not actually, I guess, canon. This chatter is non-canon. You've recently reviewed our last session. Did we talk about pirate radio at all?
No, barely. We talked about the event where you were going to have a local broadcaster for boomboxes.
Yeah. So we talked about it as something was going to happen?
Yes, before it happened.
Okay.
That was we laid out our plan, your plan, mostly.
Well, our plan, yeah. I mean, so here's people bring me in, and I can be like really enthusiastic, and I know this about myself. So when people include me in plans, I'm really hesitant to become overbearing, or I really don't want to be overbearing. I want to bring whatever creative, cool stuff I can pitch, but I don't feel like I want anyone to feel like they have to go with whatever stupid shit I've come up with. So originally when Tabitha had you as the DJ, I really didn't want to make it a shenanigan. I didn't want to make it like bullshit that you didn't want to do, but you felt like I'd feel sad if I didn't do that.
Not at all.
So, I don't want to. Well, I like the weaving topic. Well, we'll come back to new releases, but
Yeah.
you know, I would say the event was extremely successful.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't know attendance wise if goals were met, but there were people there, and I thought musically, certainly sonically, the setup you envisioned worked really well. I thought we did some good music. I couldn't stay to the end, but it seemed like it went over really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of my strengths is staying to the end. Like, I think if all else fails, I would just become a mover because I'm pretty good at packing stuff up and moving it around and like shifting stuff and the logistical stuff. I kind of enjoy in a weird way. But yeah, I say it worked surprisingly well. I think we hung 8 boom boxes and one of them just didn't work. Like it seemed like
Yeah.
it should be working, but it wasn't getting any audio. So having 7 100 watt, like true 100 watt boom boxes, not peak, actual RMS 100, and 2 420 watt RMS sort of party station PAs, it was really a lot of sound all over.
It was more than enough, and we weren't blasting it, and
Yeah.
it was plenty.
It was cool, and the audio quality, and this is, I have to say that like the audio quality for not intending to do a long distance broadcast was very good. Like it, mostly long distance broadcasts, for people who don't know, they use compressors and stuff so that the dynamic range of the music is cut down so that people who are at the edge of reception still have a decent sounding song, just like people who are really close to the transmitter. But we didn't give a shit, so it was uncompressed and just was whatever we were pumping out, and it sounded like we had a line connection to all these.
Yeah, there was no delay, and yeah, the FM broadcast solution worked really well.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say on the record that it was all within the perfectly legal FCC limits for power.
Oh, for sure.
Officially, I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to say that now looping back to the new release, I think I've always been like really entertained by the notion of like actually running a pirate radio station. And there was a pirate radio station in Albany for a while that was fantastic. But another not nonprofit. They are a .org, but I don't know that they're actually nonprofit. But one of the public radio stations in town is very, 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 I don't know, they're assholes. They didn't.
Are they?
Yeah. They absolutely made it their mission to force the FCC to crack down on the pirate radio station, even though it wasn't stepping on anyone's signal. So like it's one of those things where if the radio station sounds professional and they're not stepping on any commercial signals, what is gained by shutting it down? So like, but I've always had the notion. So if we start a pirate radio station, other than the podcast, we can play some Viva Non. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, sweet.
All right. Anything else that's come out?
Well, I put out a couple songs on Bandcamp for free for the holiday. I missed Christmas. I was waiting on a possible contributor, which didn't materialize. But on New Year's Eve, I was able to put out. It's just 2 songs. It's 2 cover songs. Haley and I did a version of "Suggestion" by Fugazi.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a version of "Low" by Cracker. So I got those out there, and
I've heard them both. They're very good.
well, thank you.
I think you should be very proud. I was very impressed.
It's always a weird feeling when I release stuff. before it goes out, I think it's good. As I'm trying to finalize it, I get more and more like lost in the nuances of the mix, and oh my god, does this actually sound terrible? And then you put them out there, and you're just like, you have strange, anxious feelings, and you don't know how it's going to go over. And
No, they were both very good. I wasn't familiar with the original source song for the Fugazi, but the Cracker cover, I think, had enough reference that it had like the nostalgia and sentiment and enough novum to make it worth doing, which is the thing. So many covers are not worth doing because they're such covers, but
it's a yeah. There's a balance to strike there.
yeah, not you, baby.
Well, thank you.
Nailed it.
I envision those. It's so interesting because the concepts you have when you go into something, at least for me, maybe some people have a vision and they put it together and that's how it is. But I have a vision and I start pursuing something and it mutates into different areas. So I thought Low would turn out much more trip hoppy. But when I brought Eric Boost in to play drums, that certainly gave it a more aggressive feeling to it, and I don't know, it just took it to a different place, and it turned out really well. So
Yeah.
I was pretty happy with where that went.
I think you should be proud.
Cool.
Yeah. And I always, like, it's this weird fixation that I have. This is something that is, when it was pointed out to me that when you tell someone that you're proud of them, it's in effect you taking some sort of ownership of their success. So whenever someone does something that's really cool, I tell them that I'm impressed and they should be proud, because the ownership of that like accomplishment really should be theirs, not the observer. So yeah,
Cool.
Definitely impressed. You should be proud.
Well, thank you very much.
Sure.
So yeah, only through Bandcamp, Vellocet Bandcamp, but I just realized that I didn't just realize, but I haven't really thought about seriously putting out the covers sort of for real to all the music stores. But my distributor does have a way to handle the rights on cover songs.
Oh, I was really I was just about to ask you about that because it seems like it'd be complicated.
I think it is. There's some nuance to it, but it appears they have. I haven't tried it, but it appears they have a way to handle that. So, and to split up the royalties appropriately. So
Cool.
I could go into that with some more official wide releases later on. I just think it's a little cheesy to do cover songs on your original releases sometimes. It's like you shouldn't rely on it. It's okay to do it occasionally or do little things off to the side, but I just don't want to get, you know what I mean, too, I don't know.
Well, I think
I'm an artist. I'm weird. What can I say?
No, I don't think that's weird at all. I mean, whether you like them or not, Chumbawamba did some interesting stuff where they actually had some releases that were never released on any format. They were just MP3s that they gave to someone and said, go ahead and share it, let it out there. And it has like, it is unencumbered from any of the sample licensing because it is like, it wasn't an official release. It was something that leaked and spread organically. And so they didn't have any liability in that. It was just, it was kind of interesting because they really were able to be creatively free, and they sampled Elvis and they sampled Metallica and they sampled like a whole bunch of things that would be suicide to sample like in real life on a commercial release. So I think I get your logic of this is a good way to promote and get people familiar with my work and see what I bring to something that they already know, which is a nice gateway to get into your original pieces.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, they're just little freebies, so there's no money in it. So just paying respects, taking on some interesting challenges. Like the Fugazi song, I didn't know how exactly that would translate into the synthy kind of world that I'm in, because it's a very extremely band, traditional, not traditional, but instrument live kind of feeling song. So it was definitely an interesting challenge.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. So
congratulations.
Thank you. There was potentially a guest contribution. It didn't materialize, but I think the songs sound fine without it, so no big deal. And hopefully that's a relationship that is still forming I can come back to and maybe get some guest contribution later on.
At risk of being vague, I know the artist you're talking about, and I think in general, even though it didn't work out for this collaboration, I think that they're cool. I think that, it's quite possible that this tree will bear other interesting fruit or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And that reminds me of something. I was going to say strange fruit. For some people, strange fruit is a disturbing reference.
Really?
Yes. For me, I know of strange fruit in the context of a song title by Catherine Wheel.
Okay.
And that's a really great song off their second album that I really enjoy. It's one of my favorite songs on that record. Really solid record. Blanking on the name. Chrome. I think it's just called Chrome.
I think you're right.
Really good. But a lot of people it's an older song. I want to say Etta James or Billie Holiday. I think it was Billie Holiday, that era.
Okay.
And it's an older... I'm not sure if she wrote it or if it's an older song.
Is it fucked up? Is it about like a kid out of wedlock or something?
It's a lynching song.
Oh, that's great.
So I just want people to know when I say that, I'm not referencing that.
I get it. A tree with strange fruit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
So not that, yeah.
No.
So that's not at all what we meant.
No.
But yeah, okay.
But Catherine Wheel, good stuff.
Good shit.
Catherine Wheel is one of those bands I feel like is like honorarily, they're on that edge of sort of gothiness with their first two records, that shoegaze, that very gloomy shoegaze kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're honorarily inducted, you know what I mean?
Oh, I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
I've always thought the goth-industrial thing is a really big house. It's like there's all kinds of stuff. Like, I don't exclude Lush.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're in there. It's just...
What is it? Light from a Dying Sun? That first song on... Not Spooky.
Spooky is their biggest release, I think. But
one of those two records. The very first song has just this very interesting... Yeah. I don't know if they're definitely not a goth band, but some of their music fits.
Yeah, not exactly, but I'm still, they're welcome in the house. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. In brief, there was a new Nachtmar release recently. It's okay.
Okay.
I mean, it's funny because as I was doing a little research about this Nachtmar release, I looked at some of the other Nachtmar stuff and how he is like, I'm not German, I'm Austrian. Any similarity to Nazi imagery is like coincidental. That's not really true. I don't think that they're Nazis at all, but I think that they recognize that there is charged imagery and they are going to use some of that. But I think that artistically can be done without being anti-Semitic or racist or what have you. Yeah, so like...
Is that what they're doing?
Well, yeah, if you watch... I think it was the video for Can You Feel the Beat, it is in some ways... It goes back and forth between the lead singer sort of reenacting that famous scene from the from the movie Downfall that has like Hitler freaking out over a map and like telling people to leave the room and shit.
Now that's a meme. I can get behind.
Yes, that's a meme right there. We need more of those memes.
Yeah.
That was a good meme.
That was good stuff.
So yeah, that's untapped territory. I haven't seen any like Blizzard memes talking about like, no, it's okay. They all have cell phones. You heard about all that shit, right?
I'm not sure what you mean. Probably not.
I should flip a coin. Okay.
You don't have to go into it.
Okay, yeah. But
Those
anyhow,
who know will know.
Yeah, those who know, yes, that is a meme that is ready to happen. Bring that one back because it's time. So it's like anything where there's like a really bad decision that's made to cataclysmic result, that is the right meme to go to.
Okay.
So like he's reenacting a lot of the scenes from that, and it's like extremely referential. It's not exactly shot for shot, but yeah, I get his joke or I get his reference. But
it's not like Nazi glorification, in other words.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
But then like it comes down like, and then like the other half of the video is a woman being like tortured in an interrogation type scene. Like they're like, you will tell us your boss's plan for world domination. She's like, I will never talk to you. And then they just like beat her for the duration of the song. You know, not all art, it doesn't have to be a good idea to be art.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be something I like to be art.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad song. The video, it goes places I wouldn't have gone, but no, whatever.
Shit. We're going to have an official tangent policy because
Yes.
this is, I want to go somewhere, but I want to stick with music. So you tell me, should I go there?
Yeah, go there. What would Joe Rogan do?
So this brings to mind a good, like, First Amendment, right? Freedom of speech. Is that more important than suppressing all harmful messages? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this dichotomy now where, you know, the left used to be the champions of free speech and the ACLU and et cetera, standing up for the hate groups and whatever, because the speech you need to protect is unpopular speech.
Right.
And the right for any of us to say anything is what, you know, one of the main things that makes America a great place. To be as nationalistic as I ever get, that's about as far as I go. But in today's culture, about punching Nazis or whatever, that's the phrase you tend to hear a lot. I just don't get it. Like, assaulting someone because of something they're saying is going to put you in jail and isn't going to do anything to change them. So, like, what the hell?
My take on it is extremely cynical. And my take on it is that it is not the left that wants to limit free speech because it's things they don't want to hear. It is the right that wants to depict the left as doing that.
I don't know about that, but
I definitely know people who think like it's right to punch someone who's a Nazi. Whereas that's not how I roll. I mean, I'm certainly not a Nazi, and I would stand with anyone who feels like that they're being intimidated. But at the same time, it doesn't work like that. You don't get to only hear. There is no right to not be confronted with uncomfortable circumstances, because all learning is uncomfortable to a certain degree. And so that's not a right. It is a right to, you know, that we have established to speak your mind. And if that's horrible, I think it's still protected. But that's just me.
And if it's horrible, people will shun you, and you won't have any friends.
Yeah.
And you won't be able to maintain any relationships.
Yeah.
Because you're an asshole.
Yeah.
And that's how it should work.
Yeah, I think so.
You shouldn't be hiding your assholishness and continuing to get along with people who would punch you if they knew what you really wanted to say. You should be able to say it, and those people shouldn't punch you. And if they do punch you, they should go to jail. But you have the right to your opinions, no matter how fucking stupid they are. I don't know.
It is tough because I do know I have some very good friends that feel that, they're okay with punching someone they disagree with. And I'm inherently not okay with that.
Yeah.
And I can, I'll just say that's not how I roll when they say something. But saying something and doing something are different too.
Right.
I think anyone who says, like, yeah, if somebody's talking Nazi bullshit, I'm going to punch him out. And then there's another thing when it actually is happening and they exercise self-control and on some level understand that, like, I'm going to hear things I don't like. I'm going to hear things that I know are wrong, but it's not my prerogative to make everyone else right. So, but yeah, I also think that we live in a very weird world right now where there is no public utility of news. It is all news entertainment. And any conflict between left and right is something that will drum up viewers. And so that's all we have is this dichotomy. It's not like the majority of people, I like to think, this is tough because I also think people kind of suck. People are kind of stupid and evil. But I'd say the majority of people are trying to be reasonable. If they don't like someone, they just don't hang out.
Yeah.
It's not like most people don't go on a crusade against a person if they disagree with them. They might publicly debate them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It is a nuanced... I feel like it's not as nuanced a situation, but is something that has a nuanced approach taken to it. Like, I think it's pretty clear if somebody says things I don't like and I think are stupid, I would still defend their right to say it.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know. That's a deep one.
Sorry.
No, that's good.
It's something that bothers me because...
It's thought-provoking.
I have acquaintances that, say certain things, and I'm like, man, maybe you should think about that a little bit before you throw that out there. Like, is that really what you want to do? Doesn't everyone have the right to express themselves? And I don't know. I just don't get it. I feel like the culture is not necessarily goth culture, but American culture is evolving in this strange way, and it's getting away from some principles that we have that are really good. And I don't know. I worry about where that's headed.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares?
I mean, the goth culture has its own, like any scene has its tendencies towards drama because people.
Yeah.
But I think that people can state their opinions. When they start stating their opinions as fact, they are legally vulnerable. Like, that libel is an actual crime, and if one is saying something that is not based, that damages someone else's reputation, they are in effect breaking the law and should not be doing that. But
well,
I mean, but then there's the thing of, like, it's another situation where if they know something about a situation and they speak out about it, is that breaking the law just because it's unpopular? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It's weird. But, hey, people are problems. People are definitely a mess.
Yeah. Did you have other new music, or should we?
Oh, yeah. So
new
new music, there's Nachtmar, which I think is okay. It definitely has a strong opening track, but the rest of the album, it didn't exactly jump out at me. A couple songs, it was like, Nachtmar is kind of like a pH balance that's completely neutral. If you have a good dance floor going and then you play a song off this new album, it's not going to clear the floor, But if you have an empty floor, it's not going to bring people over from the bar. It's not gonna change anything. So
Okay.
it was okay. Soman had a new release, Nox, which is sort of a collection of a bunch of the three, the N, the O, and the X EPs, plus some other songs. But my favorite track off that is definitely the song Growler, because it's unorthodox. I think it would be a suicidal move for a DJ to play that and expect the dance floor to indulge it, because it feels wrong. The first time you hear it, it feels like it's in a weird time signature or something. It sounds like it's backwards. It just is really unconventional. But when you know it, you're like, oh yeah, this is a jam. But you just can't unload this on someone. I don't think it'll work.
Okay.
Morris Black just had a release, his Exile tapes. He actually has a couple that came out back to back. His Exile tapes, and what was his other thing? Illegal No, that wasn't him. Yeah, I know he had something other that was really pretty recent, but he's getting prolific, and I like that he's sort of forging the notion of haunted house. Witch House was a huge fucking disappointment. Like, it could have been so much spookier and compelling, and it was just fucking screaming. But, yeah, man, it's like Atari in 1986 when all the games were the fucking same-ass game, and everything was a block, and the cover art looked like a dragon, and there was no fucking dragon, there was a block. That was it.
Yeah.
So, like, Witch House crashed. Maybe Haunted House will do better.
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. Cool.
Hope for the
cool.
best. There was. I'm debating whether or not I was going to talk about this one. Speaking of covers, there was this tribute to Ministry that just came out.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. There's some local artists on that, right?
Yeah, it's Effigies, a tribute to Ministry. It opened with a track by Big Time Kill, but it also featured tracks by Morris Black, by Sawtooth, by Destroy 11. Destroy 11 is Rob Eaton. He's, a local, an Albany local DJ and musician. Sawtooth has played locally for Ex-Humanity. Nice person.
Yeah.
I'd say there are some interesting covers on the album. I used to love covers because I felt like it was able to take something that was starting to age and force it into being contemporary. Nowadays, I feel like I'm a little bit more picky about what artistically they're bringing new to a song, and I think that most of the work that's on this comp is doing something new and creative with the pieces. So I'd say it's decent. It's definitely worth listening to at the very least.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And that's it for my newness, really. There's other stuff that came out. Some Linderman and who's the dude? Linderman and Meyer? It's the guy from Front 242 and the guy from Rammstein.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was some work that they did together, and for some reason I say these things, and I'm like, am I just making this shit up? Am I just making up names and just
maybe?
I think I'm right about that.
I can't tell.
But yeah, so it was cool. If I'm not making it up, it was pretty cool.
All right. All right. Good. Your fantasy of that album was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my new stuff. I like the Lizette quite a bit, but I feel like this is a question that I have for you as a musician.
Wow.
Well, how do you feel about single releases? Not just like a single as in something that is meant to showcase one song, but might have an instrumental, might have like a B-side, but a single that literally consists only of one song.
Well, I think it's a newer phenomenon in the Bandcamp sort of era. I think it makes more sense today just to, hey, I finished this, let me get it out there. I don't know. It feels a little weird. Like, is it just its own thing? Is it going to be on a record that's coming later? You know what I mean? Traditionally, singles usually show up on a full length. Not always. You know, in the past, people could put out just a single that is just a single and is never collected anywhere else.
Yeah.
I think there's more of that these days where, you know, in the digital domain, it's just kind of makes more sense in a way.
See, it's weird because as a consumer of music, it's annoying to me to have an album with just one song. Like, it's a stupid thing to be annoyed about, but I don't want a folder.
First world problems.
Yeah, I don't want a folder named the song and all that's in it is the song. It's like it's just bad organization to do that.
Okay.
But I also don't want to have a song that's just floating around an artist directory. But yeah, so Lizette released 2 singles, and I guess from a DJ perspective, that happened quite a bit. You get like a white label pressing that was a promotional thing that was only supposed to be for DJs, and you know, it wasn't being sold as a commercial product. It was just to get it into the hands of people who were influencers to help boost public awareness of it. So I don't know. I feel like it's a weird thing where those are now commercial products. They're a little too minimal for me in some ways.
Okay.
Maybe.
That's okay.
With rare exception. I mean, I did buy the 2 Lizettes, and I think your tracks were great. And if someone else who I really liked, like Ashbury Heights, decided to do that, I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, new song, let's have it. But then the less I like a band, the more I feel like it was a mistake. Maybe a mistake. I don't know. It just leaves me feeling like, was this a good idea? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the point of a single is anymore. Are there really single releases? I guess there still are in the world of like terrestrial radio, major label bullshit. But I mean, for independent artists, like, does it make sense? Is there a point to it? I don't know.
I guess maybe I'm showing my stodginess, and in a Pandora, Spotify world, you don't need a whole album. You need one song that's good, and that song gets put in, and people put the little thumbs up next to that song, and more people hear it, and there you go. So I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's different when, like, for yours, where you just have Bandcamp and you don't have it commercial yet exactly.
Yeah.
So, I think yours is definitely, it's more comfortable to me because it's a mode that I, like, recognize. But
it's a more limited release.
I got to get with the future, man. I got to not be an old man like that.
Well, that's up to you. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
I can be an old man if I want.
Future's always changing.
That's true. It's changing fast, too.
It's true.
It's weird.
So before we wrap this shit up,
charity?
We recently had Ex-Humanity has continued the tradition that was started 7 years ago.
Yeah. We'll go with 7.
Every January, the event is dedicated to a local animal shelter. It's a charity event where the proceeds go to this animal shelter. And I was wondering, as the ex-promoter, if you were giving advice to people who wanted to do something like that, can you talk a little bit about, is there coordination with the charity? How do you set it up with the talent? Like, what are the different aspects of trying to do a charity event like that?
Okay. Now, I'll treat this like a choose your own adventure.
Sure.
Do you want my blunt asshole response, or do you want like a refined political response?
It doesn't have to be political, but I mean, you know,
I'll go with the asshole. It's more interesting.
okay.
So, at Meow House 1, there was a thing where the worst performing month was January. And it's the worst performing when the monthly event is held on the first Friday of the month. So your first Friday is always going to come a couple, like, on average, 3.5 days after some people just had a major drinking event. Their compulsion to go out drinking is astonishingly low.
And it's freezing ass cold.
And it's freezing
upstate
ass
New York.
cold.
Yeah.
So, like, what you have is you have a month where you're going to make no money. Now, you can have a month. Now, when I was trying to decide how to do a charity event, I said, I can have a month that makes no money and has nobody there, or I can have a month that makes no money and has a ton of people there or has more people there. And so it made more sense to me to try to push for a successful month, even if I wasn't making money for it. And I used the wasn't making money with a little asterisk next to it, because the way I offset things, the DJs, I always have had a huge respect for the DJs, or tried to convey a huge respect. I'm not a perfect, I'm sure I've slighted people accidentally, and I'm sorry about that if I have. But I really respect the art. And so when we do a charity event, I pay the DJs at the head of the month, like the head of the event, and I say, here's, the $50 that is for tonight. If you want to toss it into the charity box, that's your prerogative to do so. If you want to buy a drink and put the rest in, if you want to take the whole thing and, just bring it home, you have also earned that. So this is entirely your prerogative what you do. So I always paid the DJs. But the one way that money actually came back was because I was the one who made the donation in total at the end from everything that was collected. I was the one who got the tax write-off. And so it was certainly not a large money-making thing, but it didn't make it impalatable to spend money to, like, make the night something special. Like, to buy, like, special drink mixers or buy special promotional items or what have you. So that offsets it a little bit. That's sort of a business thing. It's definitely not going to be enough that, like, somehow you end up, like, still making money from the tax break that you get from making the donation, but it's there. As far as the charity that you go with, if they work with you, you'll get better attendance. So if, with the cat people, I said, we're a bunch of weirdos who people often get the wrong impression of. They think we're standoffish. They think that, we are surly or antisocial. And I recognize that a lot of people think that about cats too. And they're just wrong. And so I think that there's a lot of overlap between cats and goths. And goths love cats. So, are you okay with us doing this charity event for you? And they were like, questioned me. So you want our permission for you to give us money? And I was like, well, yeah, essentially. And they were like, yeah, that's fine. So because we were consistent over the years and always supporting them, they would, like, cross promote to let people know it was happening. And now it's like, it's kind of a monster because it's one of the biggest attended events.
It's crazy busy,
which is great. This year was the biggest take for donation yet. It was over $2,000 that were raised in one night. And
it's nuts.
Well, I'm really sentimental, and I get like very nice feelings when I think about what this particular animal shelter does and what $2,000 will actually mean in like actual animals that get rescued. And these are animals that have like been hit by a car, and instead of euthanizing them, they will rehabilitate them, or, you know, any number of circumstances where other shelters would turn their back. So it is a charity I believe in. I don't know. I'm rambling.
No, it's fine. It's good. It seems like I forget how you put it, but the incentive items that were up for grabs specifically at this most recent event were a huge success.
Yeah.
And generated a lot of revenue.
They did.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So we came in as retired promoters, Chimera and I. We came in very late in the event, where it was like 2.5 weeks before the event that we were told we really don't have anything to drive donation. So we're either just going to have a month where the proceeds go, or if you want to throw something together, go for it. And this was not for lack of care. This was because like life often throws a lot at a promoter.
And it's coming out of the holidays and all that.
Yeah, it was really difficult. I
Crazy.
think specifically the current Ex-Humanity management did a lot of traveling. So they like had just come back from Colorado, and it totally reasonable. I only wanted to couch it because our involvement, I don't want to paint it like we swooped in and like rescued donation. It was more that current management knows that we are fucking ninjas and we get shit done in a real tight turnaround. So given the puzzle of how can we drive donations, we set up these tiers of gift bags. So there was like a top tier gift bag for $100, and there were 3 of those. And then there were a second tier gift bag that were $50, and there were 6 of those, and a third tier that were $20, and there was 10 of those. So we were like, okay, what can we put into these? Now, Chimera is a really talented artist. She did a really great poster design. So the top tier, they got a signed poster. And the poster was not only signed by the artist, but signed by every DJ who spun that night. So it was a nice keepsake for someone who donated. From all the years of making promotional cat ears, we're pretty good at it by now. So we made like an upgraded cat ear for the $20 tier, a deluxe cat ear for the $50 tier, and an elite cat ear for the $100. And these were actual faux fur. $100 had like actual jewelry, like bedazzling it, all in a theme of that particular bag. And then in one, this is I really am quite impressed by Chimera's like aptitude in many things, where I have experience in 3D modeling, and she gave me a design that was going to be used for a token. So the idea was, we're going to make drink tokens, which is you get a little puck in your bag, and that puck can be redeemed for a drink special. But we were betting that the puck itself would be special enough that nobody would redeem it, and the money that, had to go back to the bar for that drink would just never be taken out of the charity. Mm-hmm. And that worked, but her design was a design not built around the way that the modeling software we use works. So like I got super frustrated, and I was like, okay, this is a failure. And she just looked at me feeling sad. And so in one night, she taught herself how to use my 3D modeling software.
Damn.
And just churned out these amazing coins. And so in parallel to this, the artwork that she had generated for the event was put onto 3 mugs. and it was gorgeous artwork, and everyone wanted this mug. So I, like, even before they knew all the other stuff that was going to go into the bag, the 3 top tier $100 bags, I had people trying to bribe me. Like, can I just give you money right now and you can set one aside? And I was like, I've had more than 3 people ask me that, so it really wouldn't be fair. So, like, the mugs, we had them at the mugs, but we enlisted Spectra art in addition to Chimera. Chimera did 5, Spectra did 4, and this is killing me because we also had another artist who was enlisted by Spectra, and I can't remember what his art thing is. What his
I'm sorry. If I knew it, I would tell you. I don't know it.
It's Nate. He does great work, and he did great work. Fudge. Well, fuck. I look like this is the asshole path. Okay, so I'm just gonna go right ahead. So these coins, we had a limited run of 10 coins, or excuse me, 9 coins, 9 lives, 9 coins that were painted by the artist. So in addition to it being a really interesting about like air hockey sized puck, that was a great commemoration of the evening that you could optionally redeem for a drink if you wanted. We had 9 that were repainted by artists. Chimera did 5, and Tabby and Nate each did 2, so giving us the 9. And the $100 tier was guaranteed to get a coin that was themed to their package. The $50 tier had a 50% chance of getting a coin, and the $20 tier had a 10% chance of getting a coin. So only one of the 20s had an art coin, 3 of the 50s had an art coin, and 3 of the $100. Now, anyone who is following the math, that doesn't really like line up. There's 2 extra art coins. We just increased the odds in the 50s because we didn't have the resources to make enough 20s to like keep it at 10% chance. So it went so well that within 10 minutes of the door being open, every single tier was sold out.
So crazy.
So like people came in like waving $100 bills and just taking the little tag and like claiming it, like, there we go, that's it, I got it.
Awesome.
So it went really well, and I'm really happy with how it went. But I don't think you can do that for the first charity event that you like. You have to have a like
some kind of committed following for that. Probably. Yeah.
You have to have like a sentimental value that is imparted to those tokens in order for it to really work, I think.
Well, they certainly had artistic merit.
Oh, yeah, they were really cool.
Yeah.
They were, like, lots of different themes with, I don't know, pretty interesting. I have pictures of all of them, but I haven't publicized them all. I don't know if I'm gonna. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Keep it secret. Special only for the people who got them. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Well, this certainly is a good lesson to learn for next year. I mean, I feel like you were setting the goals fairly high. You were setting the bar fairly high on some of the prices for that stuff, and people were just like, yo, gimme. Like, no problem.
Well, in the end, the $100 ones had a themed tapestry. They had an art card. They had 2 drink tokens. One of them is guaranteed to be an art coin. They had assorted cat-themed snacks that were in there. They all had like snacks because we think people are gonna like just want to munch on something. I don't know what. It's a little weird.
Sure.
But, and I don't know. It was a lot of stuff, and the artwork alone, the actual original artwork, is arguably worth more than $100. Like what the artists did on the art coins, like, yeah, hands down, if I could have, I probably would have spent $300 to get those top three because, I mean, I could have. It would have been dishonest, but I could have done it. But instead, just keeping it fair and like they were all interesting things. Oh, they also got a specially released print that coordinated with each of the three was sort of themed to one of the DJs. So there was Techi, hers was a ghost cat girl who was holding a knife. It was pretty cool. There was, I can never remember the K one. I always am like, I don't know, ketamine?
K-Spec?
Yeah, K-Spec. But it wasn't, it was like Kaya, I think. I can't, like the cat girl version that went in the illustration for the K-Spec bundle was, that was an alien cat girl. And it had like this really weird alien occult tapestry thing that went along with it. And then, Techi's was like a Ouija board tapestry thing.
Omegatelic? Oh, Techi's. I get you.
Yeah. And then Ophelia? Yes, Ophelia was a mermaid theme. And that had like, I can't remember what the tapestry was. It was that was like a weird occult rainbowy. But yeah, anyhow, they all had like lots of perks. So like they were exciting, I think. But yeah, they went.
That's great.
Shocked, yeah.
So hopefully there'll be more next time.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Hopefully
there'll be more notice or more planning.
As like burned out from the effort of churning them out, I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to do something like that again. But then I've ordered like 50 small form factor microprocessors that are going into the gimmick for this month. So I guess it really was not so daunting that I'm burnt out on it because I'm still doing stupid shit.
Well, stupid shit that's close to your heart.
I just can't, like, that's really what had me promoting for 5 years was that I had an art exhibit every month. And I was not responsible for making all of the art, but if I had something that I wanted to be in that exhibit, I had a venue. So that was selfish, I guess, but it was cool. I did some cool shit.
It is cool.
We all did cool shit.
And it serves the community, I think, when there's a draw and the community sees what local artists are doing, and I don't know, it's cool. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I think so. But to have something that is really successful is like it's a chemistry thing. Like everybody really has to get each other, and like the residents. It's such a weird cocktail. Like the resident DJs were all super cool and super supportive and completely different people. Like, I don't know. Now I'm going to get all nostalgic. Hey, nah.
It worked. Yeah. It was a good thing. And yeah, we did it for a fucking while.
Yeah, it was 5 years, 60, technically it was 61 events, including the festival. Maybe 62 if you count the festival as 2.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because it started in September and the last one was in September. If it really was exactly 5, it would have been August ending, but whatever.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, still doing cool shit. I'm looking forward to doing a spring thing. You interested?
Yeah, I heard a little bit about that. Like a outdoor activity?
Yeah, gonna do like inspired by Montreal's Goth Picnic. I want to do like the rites of spring and just have a goth event in the park. If we're not having any public PA, I don't think we need any special permission. Just bring whatever you want to bring, and that's cool. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
It's gonna be interesting. I like this idea.
You be in?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, good. Are you thirsty anymore?
I think my My thirst is pretty quenched. I think we're at a good time. So
All right.
yeah,
Well,
it's been good.
I have such a hard time with the terms thirsty and salty.
Yeah.
And I think thirsty is horny and salty is like irritated. But I use them wrong sometimes.
I thought thirsty was like attention seeking.
Not now.
No?
It's drifted.
Okay.
So like if these kids look mad thirsty, it looks very different than it used to. Like you want to stay away from those kids.
We'll just stay with the original context.
Yeah, all right. So I don't think the kids are mad thirsty anymore.
No, I think we quenched them.
Two cups.
All right.
All right.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.